don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and hello, it's Sunday. I'm so rested. I've had a wonderful 2 days off. It's been amazing. I'm so happy that nothing has happened the last 2 days. I haven't been on, haven't had to do a show, haven't had to think about any kind of politics or anything about you guys or doing anything. I'm so wonderfully rested, and I am ready for another week of amazing, heart-wrenching, horrible, amazing, wonderful, scary, on the edge of our seat, crazy politics, and ready to be entertaining and bring it to you in a way that is easy to understand and entertaining and helpful. So that's all great and wonderful. Too bad it's not true. We've been going strong since Monday. We were off last Sunday, so a week ago we were off, but our week last week started on Monday, and we've been going strong straight through. We'll be live, God willing, all this week, and then finally we will be ready for a break when it comes time for a break on Friday. So we'll be ready to do that. Kate is with us, as always. Producer Kate's down at the controls, making sure everything's running smoothly. She, however, will get a break tomorrow. I think she'll be returning home. I think tomorrow your return home? Tomorrow's the return home, so she will be on some break time. Although, I would rather be doing what we're going to be doing than what she's going to be doing tomorrow. So, maybe it's not so much a break, but it is what it is, I guess. Everyone keep her in your thoughts and prayers, as she will be, she'll be getting on a plane and used to, even though I'm afraid of flying, at least I knew, like, hey, you never hardly hear these things crashing, so it's going to be safe. But you notice I said used to, because now these things fall out of the sky like once or twice a day. It's like commonplace. So we know Kate will be fine. It'll be just fine. What's the old joke from Hook when he's getting on the elevator and he's like, but what if, what does he say? They're like, just keep flapping. And he's like, what if it's my time to go? And they're like, it's not your time to go. And he's like, but what if it's the pilot's? And then that's when they say, just keep flapping. But he was Peter Pan, so he could fly anyways. But I don't know. So hopefully Kate will be okay. It'll be all right. Hey, look, listen, we've got an amazing show planned for you today. I was a little scary. I was afraid. We've got a guest that's getting ready to come on with us. And hey, it's not Catherine. The guest is also from Madison County, and we're going to be talking about some Madison County issues, but we're also going to be learning about some issues in Delaware County, and we're going to hopefully be learning how you can check from your area. So for all of you that are watching this, you should be able to take what we're doing and going to talk about tonight and examine your area. So like for Kate, she could look in Randolph County. Maybe we could even look live and look what's going on in Randolph County. But wherever you live throughout all of Indiana or outside of Indiana, you should be able to look. And this is something like, we kind of light and joke and talk and laugh, and everything we talk about is pretty serious. But what we're going to be talking about tonight is honestly, could be the difference between life and death. There's some various serious implications pertaining to what we're going to be talking about tonight. So please hit the like button, smash that like button. We have had a major jump in subscribers over the last 2 or 3 days. We've had about 35 subscribers join with just in the last 24 hours. We've had a total of 44 subscribers in the last 3 days. So that's pretty good. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. It does not cost you a dime. You all know how YouTube works. You hit the subscribe button, you click the bell. That lets you know when we go live, and it's amazing. If you're here live and you want to communicate, comment over there. If you want to comment down below, you can do that if you're watching in the future. And other than that, we'll get ready to do the show. So our guest today is a young mother and wife, mother, and a very intelligent, up and coming politico. This is political, what we're going to be talking about, but it's not. It's not really Republican, Democrat. It's not what it's been the last couple of days. This is more a kind of a community interest, human interest piece that we're going to be talking about tonight. And she's an activist. You guys have seen her on here before. She's actually been a guest on the program a couple of different times. She was a guest on with me for a while, quite some time, maybe a year or more ago. She was a guest on back in June of last year when we had the whole girl show. When I went to Camp Dan, she was on, I believe. And then a lot of you will remember her as the lady who was happily assisting the police and having me arrested in Madison County. She was like, yes, arrest him, have him arrested, get him arrested. We want him arrested. And I was like, damn, woman, I didn't even know who it was. I didn't know it was her. I had her on, but I had never really seen her before, in person. And I'm like, yeah, I'm cool to take this, but damn, this woman's really excited for me to go to jail. So without further ado, we'll bring on, now listen, when she first signed on, I thought it was my sister-in-law. I thought it was my sister-in-law. She's a dead ringer for my brother's wife in Italy. And I was like, what's Ashley doing on here? But it's not Ashley. We're going to be bringing on Bree.
Hello.
Hi.
How are
Thank
you?
God you're there and I'm here and there's no cops around.
Right. That's what Catherine said, because I knew that she would post your bail. So
Yeah, right.
that's why I was out there. I was like, listen, let them do it. Please.
Yeah, it's amazing. What's funny to me is you're not the only person who I've been in other situations where other people are like, yeah, take him to jail, and they've been on my side. They haven't been like enemies of mine.
Right.
But I'm always like, man, it's always amazing how ready my friends are for me to go to jail.
Yep.
So, hey, it's all good. So, I appreciate you getting in and being involved with that and I definitely appreciate that. Nicole's husband was another one there. So
Yep.
it wasn't just you. There were a couple of you out there, but you guys were out there, and along with that, you guys were making sure that they were treating me okay and that things were good. So I'm glad that you guys
Right.
were there. So
That's why I really jumped up. I mean, to record that, to make sure that they didn't do anything, but also
now
because they didn't
look
really
right
have a
here.
reason
Wait.
to arrest you.
Yeah,
So
yes. So now wait one moment, because put those back up on the. Can you put that back up for my mother, real quick? Okay. So this was my mother here who put up these things because I had her just jump on, and she's like, "Wait a minute, that's Ashley too. Isn't this Ashley? This looks like Ashley. It's weird. It's wild to me.
that is so funny.
It's so weird. So she's right now with my brother's in the military and they live in Italy, and so it's spitting image of young. Oh well,
I don't know who that is.
Amanda's kind of fuller. I mean, I guess young, more like Ashley, but Amanda Dunnick is a judge over here in Delaware County, city court judge. But it's wild. So okay, well, so we've been talking and have met and been talking probably for the better part of the last year, and you're up and coming and been involved in a lot of government things locally and kind of at the state level over there. And you tend to be a little bit, I mean, you're a young mother, you've got some pretty young babies, and you are very concerned about health things and whatnot. So tell us what we're going to be talking about tonight.
So tonight I want to talk about what a Superfund site is.
Okay.
And specifically, I'd like to talk about one that is active and in investigation stages, which means it's like vital for the community to be aware and involved. But a Superfund site is a location in the U.S. that has been contaminated by like hazardous waste that they've like either dumped into like somewhere around them, or like it has just contaminated the earth around them from like what they pollute. And it is like they are opposing a threat to human health or the environment. And the sites are identified by the EPA, like the Environmental Protection Agency. And it was like formed under the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act, also known as CERCLA. These are like, I learned what these were from a TikTok influencer called, like, her name is Kate Justice on TikTok. And I sent in the group chat a couple videos. The first two videos is one is of her, and then one is of a separate man describing what a Superfund site is. And if you want to play those, kind of like, it'll give a decent background of what they are and how they like, kind of what the concerns are.
So you just direct me. So the group that we have between like
Me,
here.
me, Kate, you.
Okay,
Nicole.
so which? All right, so I've got the woman up here, the original one that's like 1:35. So you want me to play that one? Okay.
I don't know if I can see it. I don't think I can click off of here without it kicking.
No, I can pull it up and you'll be able to see it on the screen.
Okay.
So give me 1 second. I'll put it up and you'll be able to. You can just kind of direct me and I can put it up there and we can go from right here. Yeah, it's the real. Here we go.
So Stumblefoot, you said we've been political, but I guess we can dive into environmental stuff, which I want to kind of comment on that because it kind of can lead to being something political, because when the community is asked to be involved, they are specifically asked by the EPA to reach out to your local officials for your county, your state, like your town, like your town council. Literally, it can go down all the way to your city council.
Sure.
And you can encourage them to demand action from the EPA and IDEM, and for them to like encourage the cleanup process to happen quicker, for them to like come and collect data, encourage them to correct data correctly. And it also becomes like a public health concern when a Superfund site makes what is called a NPL. It's a national priority list. It become like that classifies it as one of the most toxic sites in the world. Um, which it threatens like our human health, and like then our health department should really be like, we should be questioning where our health departments are and like where our officials are in educating the public on what is going on around us. It can even go all the way down to how it impacts you as a homeowner, like in the county that you live in. If your house that you're trying to sell is near a Superfund site, it's your responsibility to disclose that to anyone you sell your home to. And I don't think that this is like knowledge that a lot of people have, and they probably don't know that they live near a Superfund site, and they probably don't realize like how much getting your local officials involved can make a difference in either getting the sites cleaned up or getting some kind of relief for the taxpayers, so that way it's not all coming back on them.
Absolutely. Well, like Stumblefoot just said, we here in Muncie are just kind of dealing with the fight here because we have a I would say an area that would be considered one of these Superfund sites. If not, it should be. It's a place that used to be the old Chevy factory, and it's been torn down for years, and it's contaminated. It's been all blocked off, and there were the people that owned it, that had made the agreement, they were in charge of cleaning it up, and they paid like $25,000 in fees to the city of Muncie every year, plus property taxes. And they were in charge of trying to clean this property up. And here recently, without having any oversight, without having the council involved, without getting the people's acknowledgement of this, the mayor went behind everybody's back and bought this with money that he doesn't have to get oversight on, edit money, and he purchased this property from these people, which now means they're no longer in charge of cleaning it up. It's now our problem as a city. We no longer get property tax for it. We now have to pay the nearly $25,000 a year in fines to the sanitary district. And now it's our problem. And so Dan really screwed us in this situation. It is a serious, serious problem. And this is the first place when you were poking around and saying, do you know how many you have in Muncie, I assume? And we'll talk about this here in a bit. So you want to go ahead and play what this
Yes.
woman has to say?
Yes, this one, and then the one with the guy with the headband around his head.
Man, okay, yeah, I've got him pulled up here too. So we'll listen to and this woman's name is Kate Justice.
Kate Justice on TikTok, and also Kate Justice on Facebook. So she started to put her videos up on Facebook as well, because like she's from Massachusetts, and
Okay.
I got her to do a video about Anderson, Indiana.
Yeah, that's
and this
really
is like
cool.
kind of where I've learned about. She uses her whole page to educate on like health risk and like what we can do to kind of get like relief or like kind of help with like healthcare, with like any kind of related health issues like correlated with Superfund sites. So like she goes into it really detailed.
Yeah, that's cool. So I am going to I will tag her Facebook page.
Yeah, I can send it to you
video as well
when I'm done.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so without further ado, we'll go ahead and we'll play her video here, and we'll see what she's got to say.
I had no idea what a Superfund site was until about 6 months ago. I'd heard the term, but I really didn't understand what it was. So this is from the EPA website. Thousands of contaminated sites exist nationally due to hazardous waste being dumped, left out in the open, or otherwise improperly managed. These sites include manufacturing facilities, processing plants, landfills, and mining sites. So chances are you have some abandoned industrial building nearby. So long story short, the Superfund was established. It allows the EPA to clean up contaminated sites and also forces the parties responsible for the contamination to either perform cleanups or reimburse the government for EPA-led cleanups. It says protect human health. and the environment by cleaning up contaminated sites. Now, from what I have learned, cleaning up and remediation, these are not classified, or should I say defined, in the same way I would define them. And it's scary. So that is what a Superfund site is. And on the same website, you can go and put in your zip code and find out where the closest one is to you, because chances are you probably have one, either an actual Superfund site or something else that has been designated as needing to be cleaned up. So I really hope you don't find one.
Okay.
Sadly, I found
I had no
not
idea what a
many.
Superfund site was until about
Let me
6 months.
now, say that again. Say what you said again.
She said, I really hope you don't find one. And I said, sadly, we found many.
Yeah. So tell everybody. So first, tell everybody how many we have. Tell everybody how many there are in Anderson. Then tell everybody how many there are in Madison County, and then we can tell how many there are in Muncie and Delaware County. So in your city of Anderson, in Anderson, how many are there in Anderson?
So there are 22 Superfund sites listed. And there is one of those is on the national priorities list. And that is the one that I've been posting about at the intersection of Broadway and Grand Avenue. And it consists of 3 different groundwater contamination plumes. So it's listed like as the corridor, but the map will show you like where each plume actually is, and then it shows a radius of like where they assume the contamination can lead like outwards to. It's called delineated or something.
Yes.
I don't know how to pronounce it really, but I know
Yep.
that's the word.
Absolutely. And so tell everybody what a plume is.
A plume is kind of like algae, like, and so the aquifer that these plumes sit in, the aquifer that it sits in is like it sits all the way down in the bedrock. So it's like really, really hard to, even if they do come clean it out, like it would be really hard for them to like come and get it out. So
Like get it all. So
yeah,
it
like
would be
sometimes they can bring in like excavating and like they can dig the land out, but I'm not super educated in how they would clean the plumes up. But I just know that the 3 that they've found, they don't have any sources for them listed.
Okay, and so this is algae
The
that's
EPA
basically yeah. And so this is algae that's basically growing 3 different types because of the whatever the
contamination,
chemicals,
all the
contamination,
contamination
or
and pollution, right?
whatever it is.
And
Yeah.
so those were popping up as I sent a post with the names because they're really long, but they're like tetrachloroethylene
Mhm.
and trichloroethylene or something like that, and then the
Sounds like
VOCs, which
shit
are
we don't want inside us.
right, which are volatile organic compounds, and there's like some other things listed that are like what comes in the making of the VOCs. So in 1990s, like in the 1990s, they installed air scrubbers
Yeah.
at the plant, the Wheeler plant in Anderson, and the air scrubber is supposed to force the water, like it forces stuff into the water, and it takes all the like all the VOCs and it turns it into a gas, and then it pushes that gas through a carbon filter, and then it's supposed to be censored to make sure that it's clean before it's released back into the atmosphere. And then the water is supposed to come out treated on the other side. So I believe it was installed in 1999. The
Okay.
contamination was originally found in 1980 at this specific Superfund site.
That's
Um,
crazy.
And uh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Um, They said that so in 1999, the air scrubbers were installed. And then in 2004, they have records showing that the finished drinking water had concentrated contamination of VOCs and the two tetrachloroethylene words that I was telling you about. If you pull up the group
Yeah.
post, I have the post in there so that way we can read what I said because they're like very informative.
Sure.
But so, and then it was like in 2004, like a couple other years, all the way to 2010. And then I cannot find any testing from like after 2011 that shows whether it's clean or not
That
clean.
anyone's been doing. Sure. I would assume it's not. I mean, until they test it, like, why would we
Right.
believe or think that it's clean?
Right. And then if it was, so my point in saying like when it was installed, and then with saying that it was like coming out still contaminated in the finished drinking water is my concerns. Like, do we know if the whole like air scrubber is faulty with before it puts it out into the air too?
Well,
So
sure.
so would the VOCs just be being spit back into the air? And then, right. And, I don't know.
That it's no. I mean, it's a lot to take in. It's really, really, really crazy. So you said there were 22 in Anderson?
Yep. And then there's 42 in Madison County.
So in all of Madison County, there's the 22 that's in Anderson, plus
Yes.
there are another 20 throughout unincorporated Madison County and the small towns possibly. So in all of Madison County, there are 42. And
Mhm.
then just before we were going live, you started looking into Muncie and Delaware County. In Muncie, how many do we have?
I
know you told me.
I think it was 44, but I remember that the total for Delaware County was 64.
64.
Yep. And there's a
64.
link in, so if you pull up the group, Christopher,
Yep.
there's a link that I can tell you to go to, and we can pull it up on the screen and we
Yeah.
can just pull it up for you so you can even see like what some of the sites are.
Let's do
See
that.
if you recognize any of them. So I thought that would
So
be
you want me to pull the group up like on the video here?
Yeah,
Like,
you can
is
just
there
pull up.
anything like secret in there? That, okay.
No, just
I have
pull it up.
some groups that people would be like, no, don't pull it up.
Nope.
So okay,
No
hold on.
secrets here.
Let's find out here.
Well,
all right.
It might not be common knowledge, but then no secrets.
Yeah. So between these two counties, then there are 42 in Madison County and 50, 60 some in Delaware County. So like that's a really, really crazy amount of polluted shit
right
in just East Central
and
Indiana.
A lot of people that have no idea.
Yeah.
And a lot of doctors that have no idea, and a lot of like health departments that aren't really actively or sufficiently doing anything to notify the public or like what about the schools like in the areas?
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure.
In the what started the Superfund program, it started under the CERCLA stuff, and then that started in what was called the Love Canal tragedy. And it was in the 1970s in Niagara Falls, a company called Hooker Chemical Company was disposing thousands of toxic waste into abandoned canal. And they then called it the Love Canal. Well, they like built schools and companies and neighborhoods on top of like this toxic waste site. And eventually it got so bad that black sludge was coming up through the floors of their homes.
I remember that.
And it was like a group of housewives that were concerned, and they started, exactly. That's what Aaron Brockovich says. It always starts with an angry mom, and I'm an angry mom. So
yeah, I mean, that's true.
And like, it's really like our children, and not to just focus on children, because I know that like autoimmune and elderly have more risks too, but there's a report, if you look into like Superfund stuff, there's a report that says that children are really susceptible to Superfund sites because it even like goes to affect like their birth effects, like from like before they're even out of the womb. So
Sure.
it's just, it's heartbreaking kind of, and
Yeah.
it's scary. So I just want people to know about it. But
Yeah.
if you scroll up in there, you can,
Yeah.
I think
So
if you
up
scroll,
meaning I need to go further into it,
uh, it
like
might be
down or
about,
go back up.
go up.
Like
Okay,
this is
is
up.
that the very up? Is that the very top? Okay,
Yeah.
go,
Down.
uh, go down.
Okay.
Sorry, I can like barely see it.
I know it's difficult to see. So
Okay,
this
go
is
to that link, I believe.
okay. This says like the Cumulus EPA Gov or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, I think.
Search Superfund Site information.
Yep, that one.
Okay. All right. So now it says view list of all NPL and SAA sites. Search, reset. What do I need to do here?
Does it say session expired?
It does, and then I clicked on
Okay,
it.
and
Oh,
then
hold on.
wait,
You can't
go.
see. Hold on. Let me put it back on. Sorry.
Okay,
There we go. Now here we
okay.
are.
Okay, so now you want to go right there where those three little dots are where it says
Yep.
active. Okay, go to all sites.
Okay, we did that.
Scroll down to county, or if you want to do like Anderson first or Muncie first, you can do city first.
I gotta get on Indiana. Oops.
Yep.
Too fast. Selected too many. All right, here's Indiana. Okay. And then okay, let's just do
So I didn't do a zip code. I just filled out like either the city or the county and then the state.
city.
And then I didn't mess with any of the other stuff and I just hit search.
Delaware. Oh, back up at the top.
Nope. Oh, it is actually on my phone. It's at the bottom. Sorry.
All right. So now this is where it says we found 57 sites that match your search criteria in Delaware County.
Yep. And then you can, so over in the farther columns, it will show you like site status, and then something
Yeah.
about like monitoring, and most of those are unavailable. But
Yeah, that's what's really sad is
yeah,
telling
there's,
us.
I mean, like I really want to like encourage like probably like a public health like study done for counties that have a lot of Superfund sites in them. I mean, it's not just Madison County, like Delaware County, like all of them. I mean, I think that's, if they started that, they could start helping people.
Yeah, Broderick Company. Yeah. Someone, Nicole said that Broderick's. It's been a company for a long time over here. I don't think it is anymore. Let's see here.
So what's really interesting is like when we're talking about the Superfund sites in Anderson, a lot of people have commented on my post, like with suspecting information of like what the sources could be. Because there's a post on there that like shows like the status of the one that I'm posting mainly about. And there's like a lot of people giving feedback about like what kind of industrial plants like used to be in Anderson. And a lot of people keep saying like Delco Remy and like GM. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not from Anderson, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
but that's not listed on any of the 22 Superfund sites. So
That's
I
crazy.
think it's really interesting because there is documentation. I don't think I sent it in the group chat, but we could link it in a post that the EPA had sent out saying something that that company had contaminated the soil in the area.
Sure. Yeah.
So it would be, it's kind of weird that it just, if everybody has that concern that that plant was, like everyone is saying something about it. So I'm like, it just is kind of weird that it's not mentioned on any of the 22 in Anderson. I just thought that it
Absolutely.
would be. So I don't know. I'm not from here, so I don't know how big that company really was, but I just thought it was odd.
That that is really crazy. I mean, this is just nuts. So, my question is here because like my mother said, I'd be interested to know how many. Like, is there a way that we can look and see just by state?
So you should be able to mess around on the EPA websites. I think we sent a couple of links in the group that may link to where you look for them. But I know in Kate Justice's videos, she has a lot of them, like kind of up in her videos. But it's really weird to like mess around with. Like I don't mess with websites like that much, so it's kind of confusing. And I've seen like charts that show like one state had like the most Superfund sites in the whole entire, like that was the state that had the most, and it listed at like 109. And
Well, there
that
you go, right
doesn't
there.
that doesn't match because between Delaware County and Madison County, we have like around 100.
Yeah.
So imagine around through the whole state. Obviously, Indiana has more than that. So
Well,
that's
so
not
I just
accurate.
clicked on Indiana's, and it says 424 sites in Indiana.
Okay, nice. And then you can, is it showing you all sites? Like yes, it is, because it's
Yeah.
showing you the status down there.
Yeah.
So
And
then you can
so,
look at the status, and even if it says that the Superfund site has been finalized, remember like in Kate Justice's video, she said that just because it's cleaned up doesn't mean that it's not still affecting your health. So it's just important to keep that in mind if you are near one that even just says it's finalized.
sure.
And then I would even
Absolutely.
encourage you to look up like the history and the background on it and see like what they have done and like what documentation was put in there, and see if everything like makes sense, and then ask
Yeah.
your own questions.
Oh, yeah, that's very important. So I'm going back here because so we went over Delaware County, and I know we went over Indiana there, but I'm
Okay.
now going to click so that people can see, obviously what you're talking about with Delaware County.
Okay.
Now Madison County. No, wait a minute, because here it says something. I messed something up. It says there are 12
Okay,
in
because
Madison
you got
County.
to go back because you didn't hit the bubble at the top. You're supposed to hit the bubble at the top from
Oh,
active to
all
all
sites.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute then. Okay. So hold on, I didn't do that. So then there's probably way more than 424 for Indiana. So
Yeah. See, that's what I was saying about the active
whoops.
status or not. Yep.
I screwed that up. So
So that's
okay,
very important.
let's look
So
all sites. So you got to click on all sites. So let me go through here really quick again and type in just briefly here and look at all sites for Indiana. 1,929. I thought 424 seemed low.
yeah, I
Just
thought it seemed
because of
low
what
too.
there was for Delaware and Madison.
Right, because
So,
that's not adding
yeah.
up. I was like, so this is where you can go to see where all of them are.
Yeah. So
If
clicking
you
all
want to like
sites.
add it to, I don't know, the comments or on a post or something, so people can go to it if they want to go there and search.
We'll definitely put that in there. I'll put this in the link, and we'll put a map up here in a moment. As Nicole's saying, we'll put a map up on social media soon that she mapped out for Anderson. But this is for all of Indiana now. With clicking all sites, it's 1,929. That's nuts. I mean, that's
It's
really
scary.
crazy.
Like it's really scary because I mean, just like my mind goes to like where are all the schools like close to those, and like
Well,
and
hell
then like the
yeah.
drinking water and like people. I mean, even if not just drinking it, like bathing in it has an effect, and cooking with
Well,
it has an
sure.
effect. And some of these things that pop up in the water, when you boil your water, like not everybody knows this, but when you boil your water, certain contaminants actually become more concentrated. So it's increasing your risk, like, because you think, oh, I'll just boil it and it's fine to cook with, like. And some people don't really know, like, don't think to question to drink tap water. Like a lot of people I know, they're like, I drink it right off the tap. Like it's not even a second thought, like, because it's city water, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is nuts. That's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
So like Tweety Bird, and I remember because back a couple of years ago in 2019, they were going to bring this horrible steel company, Whale Sustainable Products. They were going to try to bring into Delaware County, and they were going to put it between Yorktown and Muncie, on 32 Kilgore, where Borg Warner was, and which means everything would blow as the wind blows. Everything would blow from there into Muncie, and this was horribly like poisonous shit that they would be blowing on us, and there was a massive uprising and everybody got involved. But then of course, Tweety Bird, there are plenty of other factories that are just here still or have been here, and they've been doing this for a long time. And so I knew that this was definitely something that Tweety Bird would be
I haven't drank
interested in.
from the tap either, Rhonda. I
Yeah,
don't drink
hell
water
no,
either.
there's no way. Okay, so clicking on this now. Okay, so now it brings up the 42 sites that are in Madison County, and now wait a minute. Do you want me to go back and play the gentleman with the headband? Do you want me to play that at some point?
No, I mean, like, no.
Okay,
It's
okay.
fine.
So is there something specifically you want me to click here, or would you want me to go back to Messenger?
We can go back to Messenger, and there's a couple other videos that you could play.
Okay.
They're just like, they're really short. So like
Sure.
with the rest of them, I mean, like it might take like a total of 5 minutes.
Oh, that's no problem. We can do whatever is beneficial. Yes. Yeah, Alva. Did you see where Utah became the first state to ban fluoride in drinking water?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of other videos here. Now here's another video.
Okay, that's the same one I believe that we just watched.
The same one. Okay. So then there's the one of him. There's the one of her.
You could go ahead and play his. I mean, I think it has some different information in it. So, like, kind of goes into how it affects you more a little bit.
There's actually a full list at epa.gov/Superfund. Federal Superfund program is the program designed to investigate and clean up places contaminated with toxic waste and materials. Altogether, there are some 40,000 Superfund sites across the country. New Jersey has the most with 113 sites.
Which we know that's not
California
right.
is second with 97.
Oh.
Pennsylvania is third with 95
Right.
toxic Superfund
That's I'm like,
sites.
where is that
On
map
the other
at?
side of the spectrum,
Yeah.
Because that's
North Dakota
wrong.
has none, Nevada has one, and South
He's probably
Dakota
looking
has
at
two.
not the all
Of the
sites.
40,000
Oh,
sites
right.
altogether, about 1,300 have made
I don't
it
know,
onto the
because
national
Vienna still had
priorities
400.
list. Superfund sites on the national priorities list are considered the most toxic and undergo longer-term investigation and cleanup. Superfund site closest to me is the Black Butte mine outside of Cottage Grove, Oregon. It was a mercury mining operation from the late 1880s to the late 1960s. Most of the sites will have a fact sheet like this one, and they'll give you recommendations like what's safe to do around there. Usually there's a polluter pays principle, and about 70% of cleanup activities have been paid for by the potentially responsible parties, or PRPs. But about 30% of the time, the people or
God.
organizations responsible can't be found or can't pay, and in that case, the burden falls on the taxpayer. Up until 1995, that 30% was paid for by an excise tax on petroleum and chemical manufacturers. But Congress didn't renew the tax, so now the
That's
people
right,
end up
Catherine.
paying for it. What Superfund site are you closest to?
That's nuts. That's
So
Just
obviously
crazy.
some of the information was wrong, but it's like how he mentions it kind of falls back on the taxpayers if they don't find, or if you don't push your local officials to demand action on it from the EPA, you don't get involved, then you don't find someone that's liable that can help with federal
Sure.
funding, and then it comes back on you, unfortunately, because somehow all that stuff has to be cleaned up
Yeah. Yeah.
to standards. So.
It's nuts. It's
So this
absolutely
one with
crazy.
the little red, the one right after his video, we
Yeah.
can just go ahead and play it from order from
Each
there.
red square marks a site so toxic the government had to name it. Officially, they're called Superfund sites. Some of these places have been flagged for cleanup for 30 or 40 years. It's a legal process and it moves very slow. The information is public, but you have to know to look for it. They don't tell your doctors to screen you, even though there is lots of science connecting Superfund sites to cancers and autoimmune conditions. Do you live in a Superfund site?
It's really scary. I mean, this shit is really, really scary.
There is
Maybe
a lot
Heidi.
of people who are sick. I live in a Superfund site. Why don't my doctors screen me for anything? I asked the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. You know what their answer was? We didn't know they didn't know.
We're in development of that because we've been aware of these concerns that people are bringing to us that their clinicians are not informed. So we're looking for ways that we can address those concerns.
There is a lot of people
We
who
didn't know
are
they
sick.
didn't know.
We didn't know they didn't know.
Yeah.
Isn't that so sad? And so in Massachusetts, I believe the one that affected theirs was that it was PCPs, and everybody in the areas, they decided that it was so bad they tested the blood of the people, and their PCP levels were, so everybody has it in their blood because like we're exposed to tons of stuff through our environment and just other things like daily. So but theirs were 4 times higher than the national average, and their health department didn't know that the doctors didn't know they should educate the people.
It's really crazy. And I talk to my grandparents about this all the time because my grandparents live south of Muncie, north of Cowan, south of Muncie. My mom, my dad, all my uncles and my aunt, they all went to Cowan, and like that's a small school. It was a small school. Mom, how many people did you graduate with? Type in the comments how many people like you would have graduated with, Dad would have graduated with, and like John would have graduated with. It would have been like 50 or so or less. And like of those people, like my dad was born in 60. My uncle was born in 57, and so about what their age would have been. They both passed away. My uncle died of cancer in January 2011. Dad passed of cancer in June of 2016, and like more than half of their class, like a bunch of these people their age from that area, have all died from cancer. Like literally all of them.
Right. And that's like the tons of
Like, what's
people are
going
reaching
on?
out with the same kind of stories, you know what I mean? Like rare brain tumors, birth defects. Now there's a new study, a 2025 study actually, and it's for systemic sclerosis, if I'm saying it right.
That's in there.
That's actually tied into, and there's a public health study like actively I think going on for that to like find clusters around Superfund sites that are affected by it. So somebody asked like what we should ask our doctors to test for, and I want to encourage people to come to the town hall that I invited the EPA to attend to do a Q&A with the community. I don't know everything that you should be asking for them to test for. I really want to encourage you guys to try to either comment like your questions and I'll come back and read them, or try to attend the meeting and come and ask those questions in person. We have a form that you can send in and like on a Google Drive, and if you can't make it, we will read it for you and try to get that question answered for you, and we'll live stream the meeting.
Yeah.
But this last video that Kate Pierce has on here, she has a few, it's a little short, like not funny, but kind of funny. The music's funny. Like kind of a few little health issues that have been correlated with Superfund sites.
Yeah.
I can make a post like more detailed into like what is correlated with it, and then you
Sure.
can determine if you want to ask your doctor to look into the correlation and test you and screen you for it and let them know that you live in a Superfund area, or I mean just the county, because there's multiple. So but yeah, just watch that video and there's a couple in there. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and yeah, so real quick, so when is that town hall?
April 23rd.
Okay, let me write this down.
Okay.
April 23rd.
5:30 to 7 p.m.
Ooh, wow. 5:30 to 7. So that's like people can get off work and
We tried
swing
our
by.
best. We tried
Yeah,
to go for a weekend, and we tried to go for
that's
like
good.
a larger block, but that was all we could
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Where's it
shortly,
gonna
so
be?
it's going to be at the Anderson Public Library,
Okay.
in the Delaware room.
Okay. Yeah, I know
So I
exactly
think
where it's at.
it's, or you'd have to look up the address,
Yeah.
but it's on the flyer I have.
Yeah.
You could go to my Facebook, and there's a flyer on there if you want to pull it up.
Oh yeah, I'll go do that right now.
There's two different versions floating around. So there's Nicole's version, which is really great, but I added another one because I slipped a QR code on there. I learned how to make a QR code.
Oh yeah, isn't that
And
neat?
so
I've done
that
it
kind
too.
of like, if like the younger generation is like, what's the QR code for? It takes you straight to the event on Facebook. So you can go ahead and hit going or interested, and you'll get updates, and you can look at the posts and the discussion, and it'll give you reminders of when the event is. So
Yeah. And are you okay if we like live stream that?
yeah. Yep.
And come and like live stream that. That way people can see
Yep.
it.
Yep, absolutely.
People can see it that can't maybe attend or can't be there. We can live stream.
I've even
the shit out of it.
invited Thomas. I think it's Thomas O. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name because I think it would be rude if I mispronounced it.
Oh,
But,
I know you're talking about the dude
he's
from
the-
the,
yeah,
the
the
dude's always like,
reporter from-
hey, is there a story in Madison County? I would
Yeah.
be interested. And everyone's like,
So-
yeah, all of Madison County is a story, dude.
Yeah,
There's
all of it.
stories everywhere.
And now literally. So
Yeah.
that's this
Well,
is
good.
another
I
one that
hope
affects
I
the
hope
whole
he
county.
shows up. That would be good.
Yeah. So he said he would be there. We will see.
Hazardous Superfund Site. Yeah, and my mom said I wish they would change the name. Like it seems like it would this seems like cool. Oh, Superfund. Like maybe it would be like if it was like really scary, bad, shitty place.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe that might be something we could like change the stupid ass name. Community announcement on April 23rd, 2025. There will be a town hall community meeting held at the Anderson Public Library. The EPA has been invited and will be making an appearance to participate in the Q&A session for you to be heard and get answers. Now, what I want people to know is she is not getting paid for this. Nicole's not getting paid for this. Catherine doesn't get paid for the shit she does. They're not elected officials. This isn't something that Scott Green did. This isn't something that Rich Wine's done. This is not something that Thomas Broderick's done. So you really need to think about things like this. And I would also say you guys should ask. Kyle Pierce needs to come to this. Gaskell needs to come to this. The county commissioners should come to this. The city of Anderson council, the mayor, like the elected officials need to come to this and get themselves educated on this and aware, and they need to hear from the people. My thought is none of them probably will. Maybe I could see Gaskell doing it. But the elected officials should come to this as well. And they should get involved. Did she just go away? She just left. She'll be back. But elected officials should come to this and I think it's I think there she comes. Hold on here. Let's I knew you went someplace.
Sorry, on
That's
my
no big
Wi-Fi,
deal.
it was just like it said something, and I was like, "Oh
Hey,
my god!" So,
that's all right.
all
What
right.
you missed while what you missed was that the elected officials should come to this. Now, Catherine is saying you had some kind of exchange with Gaskell.
Oh, yeah. I went to the meeting regarding Alexandria sewage issues, and Bethany Keller held it, I think, to kind of ask
Yeah,
people. I was trying to come to learn,
sure.
so that was my first time coming to learn about it. I waited about an hour and a half after the meeting ended,
Yeah,
and
because he said he would stick around
mhm.
to talk with people.
And I mean, it might have been longer than that. I mean, I probably might have been there for like 2 hours after it ended. And I stood in line. And at
Okay.
one point, it was just me and him and one other guy. And he had started to, like, the one person that was talking was like starting to walk away. And another man walked up and he was like, hello. And he completely turned his back to me
Sure.
and walked away and started talking to him. So when I was waiting to talk to Bethany Keller, she invited me to come like stand in the group, and I was just like, no, thank you. Like, I'll just talk to you separately in a second. And I just wanted to tell her something like super quickly. And I
Sure.
did mention I have reached out to her about the Superfund site, and I talked to her about it there, and how I think that kind of when it comes to like drinking water and like how the sewage is like leaching into the people's stuff over there in Alexandria, like this
Sounds like
kind
fun.
of all could tie in. And I haven't looked
Sure.
at the location for the ones in Madison County, but Nicole did a map for Anderson specifically. Like
Yeah.
she pointed it out, and it's in the group chat. But she will do one for Madison County too. So I'm interested to see if there's one over in Alexandria. Maybe like if that caused extra contamination, like that could cause like extra wear on the infrastructure, and like that's like, and it's been an issue over there for a long time. And so I mentioned it to her, and I had sent her some stuff, and she said she would read it. And I encouraged her to come to the town meeting, or the meeting that I was holding, but I don't know. I know she's busy,
Yeah.
it is very important for on my. I do have a petition. I think we have over 400 signatures on it now.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
haven't checked in a few days, but it's linked in my profile somewhere. We could go to it and look.
Yeah.
But
We need to continue getting.
I
That's good.
have listed like decision makers,
Yeah.
like the mayor and then the city council, but I need to update it and add the county council, and then
Yeah.
like our state reps, and then even like our health department people. Like I don't know, maybe our county engineer. Like I feel
Yeah.
like those are all very people that should be interested in what's going on and
Yeah.
how we could get some kind of hold the companies, find a company to hold liable over there where all
Yeah.
that contamination is, and get some kind of relief funding for us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Danny, I will do that, Danny. So my mother said, I have a question. So if we allow solar panel crap, will they in turn do the same thing? Well, and that's the thing that Kate was asking in Randolph County. I mean, because everybody says like, oh, these solar panels are, they're good for the environment, and it's going to help us this way and this way and this way. But what they don't tell you is there are dangerous chemicals and such inside these cells, these panels. And if God forbid, which does happen, a space rock falls and hits one of these out in the
right.
field and cracks it,
So
or if an animal hits it or something.
in a way, yes, because like these sites are they're classified under like clean water air, and so like they're scored, actually they're scored by I'm gonna pull up something real quick so I
Yeah, you're
can
fine.
literally tell you what they're scored with.
Okay.
So they are scored off of the surface water migration pathway, soil exposure and subsurface intrusion pathway, and air migration pathways. So when we're talking about the one in, so like with a solar panel facility, to answer that real quick, like if it was contaminating the soil or the air, I mean, it doesn't have to be the water. Like it could become a Superfund site. So, but when it is doing those things like the soil and the air, it eventually leads to your water. So, it kind of all ties in. I mean, it has the potential to become one, yes. When we're talking about remember in the video, they said that to be on the national priorities list, they have to score so badly to be put on there. When in the one up Broadway Street and Grand Avenue is a national priorities list, like site. And in a document provided by the EPA, it says that when they were scoring this site in Anderson, the surface water migration pathway, soil exposure, and subsurface intrusion pathway, and air migration pathway were not scored as part of this hazard ranking system. And I have questions as to why they weren't, because with all of the feedback that I've gotten from the public, which if you have history, if you have like knowledge of like industrial sites, like come to the meeting and let the EPA know. So that
Sure.
way we can hold, because we are in remedial investigation stage, and that's like when they want the community to be involved. Well, I don't know why it took 10 years to get to this stage or what they did in those 10 years, but it's really important that we act, even though there's all the other ones,
Oh, hell yeah.
but maybe we can find a large source of companies to hold liable, and it can help with relief all over the county.
Sure.
But it's like those should be scored in the sites, and with how much people are telling me like how much of an industrial area Anderson used to be like back in the day and even now, it should be scored. And in those areas like the Superfund sites, they're supposed to be closed off.
Yeah.
So like Killbuck wetlands, like Shady Side trails, like that is super close to where the contamination plumes are, and people can access them. And the EPA told me that it should be like nobody should be contributing to the contamination that's already there. So no demolishing buildings in the areas. Do we think that, I mean, I believe the POW Club was demolished, and I believe it's within the radius of the plume contamination,
Yeah.
which and it, when they find that, not to say that they can't get rid of it, but they would put regulations on them to make sure that
Sure.
they're not being lazy and that they're following, keeping the public health in their mind and like disposing of this stuff properly instead of just tearing it down and not really worrying about how it affects the community.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So a couple of things here I've wanted to talk about here. Bring up here. Yes, Danny, I will connect your number after the show. So very good. Thank you.
So should I answer Catherine's question real quick since it's up there?
Let me see here. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can do that.
So I asked the EPA this question, and one of the site managers, which I have a post that Nicole sent it into the group chat, and it's a post that comes back to my Facebook page, and it has the site community involvement people that we can call and ask questions to, but these will be the people that will be coming to the meeting to ask questions. So if you want to call, you can call. If you want to come to the meeting, you can come to the meeting. But Ruth is one of them, and she said that it was news to her, but it might not have been news to the other lady on this site, that there was a jail being built over there. But she said that it shouldn't be of concern if they don't have to demolish anything to put it up.
Okay.
But I asked her a follow-up question of that, and I said, well, like, what if they have to hook their water source into like the Wheeler plant, right? Or like one of the wells that is potentially contaminated. um, would you put like a regulation on like how many people they can build that jail to supply water for? Like, okay, yeah, you can tie into the water, but you can only take like this much of it because what you're going to put back out or whatever. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like, I'm not really sure how it would work, but I asked her that and she said she would have to check with the other lady. So I don't know, but I was going to ask it again at the meeting.
Yeah.
But she wasn't aware that there was one over there. So I'm not sure that they are aware of other places being demolished, or like I asked the EPA if they had any liable sources listed and she told me no, but item has, I believe, 5 listed. I'd have to go back to the documents, but
Now,
it is
go ahead.
I don't know, honestly.
No, yeah, you're fine. And I want to say something else that Catherine said, that she wants to make sure that people are aware that on this April 23rd town hall that Bree and the others, or whoever putting together, the EPA will be there. So they will be there and they'll be able to address this. They'll be able to take questions and give answers.
It's a Q&A session.
Yeah.
And the form that we have, that's the Google form that you can fill out. This will be a form given by them, like if you sign up to do individual interviews with them. So if you can't come and you send that form to me, but you want the EPA to look at it, we'll turn it in for you.
Yeah.
And because it's going straight to a drive and we're going to print them off. So we have amazing Nicole putting maps together and printing stuff off. So she's going to put them together and print them off for us so we can turn them into them. And they will get with you on like your specific health concerns, who you are in the county. Like, are you a public official? Are you someone that works at the school and notice dirty water all the time? Are you someone that works in the utility department and you want to talk about it? You know what I mean? There are a lot of things that you can ask them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a seat in the environmental board? I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
I wish.
Yeah. Okay, a couple of other folks. Let me see here. Kate had let me see here. No, I don't think she had said anything here. Let me see. Yeah, Kate's going away
But
from.
supposedly, so to mention the EPA, I did speak with the Ruth lady, and she said she told me that they paid for an ad in the Herald Bulletin last year in April to run for, I'd have to pull it back up, but I think it was like April 9th, 10th, and 11th, and they were there, and they said only 2 people showed up, and that's when they were trying to do individual interviews, but only 2 people showed up, and
God,
I'm not sure if it was run in the paper, but they said that they paid the like the not the basic ad. Like she said they paid for like the one that would be bigger and like more important on their page or whatever. Like they paid extra for it or something. And nobody came. So they were like, but this is like, it's important to get people involved now because they want you to come with your history. They want you to come with your illnesses, with your concerns, like with your, with the history that you have, your knowledge, anything that this is like a major step in the remedial investigation part of getting it cleaned up and holding someone accountable. So it's really important for the community to show up and ask questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like Catherine said, don't be fooled by the color of your water. Even clean and clear water can be an issue.
Yes. So Catherine's daughter actually is called me over the weekend on Catherine's, and she said she's looking into Superfund sites right now, and she told me that you can refer to something called the Tom's River book, or I'm sure you could look up the story or a documentary, but
whoa, how did you say that again?
What?
So you can look up a what?
A documentary.
All right, good. Okay, good. I like that pronunciation. All right, go on.
Well, how are you supposed to pronounce it?
No, that's fine. I like it. No, I like it. That's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
documentary,
said,
but yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Documentary. No. I like the pronunciation.
She said that clear doesn't mean that it's okay. Most of our favorite carcinogens and teratogens are colorless and odorless. You can refer to the Tom's River story about like what they can, something about contamination over there and the area for that story. By the time they caught the contamination, there was so many people that died
That's
that
so
there
scary.
was a memorial put
Yeah.
in place for the death of 50 children.
Jesus. I mean, that's
And we are already following that story's footsteps by having a Superfund site in our county that is on the national priorities list, let alone having 42 in the county. So it's kind of scary to think that we could be close to that
Tweety
story.
Bird's put up a good book, and I've heard of this. I've heard of this. I've heard of the Tom's River story, but it when you first brought it up to me the day whenever we were talking about it today or whatever, I was like, man, I know that's registering something, but when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's what that is. I remember hearing about that, but this Tweety Bird says read Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, and that's a really important thing too.
Okay.
And
I have not heard about that one. So.
Yeah, like Catherine said, many time before this is fixed or before there's even people getting involved to fix it, many people have become very ill or died.
Right.
And
To say
people
like
didn't know.
since it's been found in the water, like VOCs have been found in the water since the contamination was in 1988 and I believe 1992, and then it was found in the drinking water in 2004.
Jeez.
So who knows how long like that it was really there for before they found it, you know? So that's kind of scary to think about. But it's just the fact that it's been 37 years and then it's been 21 years since it was found in the drinking waters, if that's 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's hard to believe that was
and no
20
one
years
knows
ago,
about it.
but yeah,
And no one knows about it,
Yeah.
and that's scary. And there's no testing showing that it's clean now, and I can't find it. And I have reached out to IDEM, and the EPA has been communicative, and they've been like super excited that somebody brought this back up, and that I wanted to hold a meeting for them to come, and like they
Sure.
were super excited to come, and like they want you to come and ask your questions. Like they were super disappointed that only 2 people came last year. So I think they're willing to help in any way that they can.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I don't know did you answer that? Nicole said how much were the water test kits? Did we get an answer for that?
For what, like through the state or through?
I don't know.
So you could start with I don't know. We would have to go and find there's one I found on Amazon that was $20 and it comes with a bunch, but it has you go off of like a color guide. So if you're not good at seeing colors, it could like have human error to those tests. Catherine said the city tests are free. You can get your water tested through the state, but it's super expensive. We are waiting for results in an area in Madison County through the state. So we ran every single test. So I'll be interested to see like how those come back and then how close the other sites in Madison County are to that location. So how do I get a city test? Ask Catherine.
Catherine, someone gets a city test. It's difficult to prove if health issues are connected to pollution. Oh, absolutely.
So you can argue that, and that's why I want people to encourage like the EPA to maybe like we can have them encourage our health department to do things. We can encourage our health department to do things. We can encourage our officials to encourage people to do things or get grants or get federal things to do like a health study. Like there's a bunch of people that I'm aware of in Madison County, like at least alone in Anderson, that were born and raised there. So it probably wouldn't be hard to get a large group of people large enough to do a big enough study to see if these people's health effects are from living in the environment because they were born and raised here and they haven't moved anywhere else. I mean,
You're
they've
right.
been breathing in the air, drinking the water,
I
cooking
was
with it,
born
swimming in it
here.
since they were
Yeah.
born, since they were in utero, since before they were a
Yeah.
thought. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, I think that there's ways that, and I know, like Kate Justice says all the time in her videos there, she will pull up sources and she, like a lot of her stuff, she will put the stuff in it that you can go look. And they have done health studies, like with the systemic sclerosis in 2025. That's a new study for Superfund sites. And that's like, I feel like if we get enough people involved, I feel like they couldn't say no to doing a public safety test study to see if it is affecting people from the pollution, and like they needed to be doing more testing. Like they said, they don't know the contaminants. Like it's been the contaminant source. It's been 37 years, and I understand that the science behind it is detailed and it's hard and it's like a lot, but 3 plumes of contamination, I feel like there should be enough science there to find out, and enough history from the people of what they know from places that dumped in the river, or like the fish kill thing. I didn't know what that was. The I think it was a mercury plant that burnt down in Anderson. Somebody said something
Yeah.
about there was, or a magnesium plant. Somebody said there was mercury in the well behind Frisch's Big Boys, and like lots of it. So I mean, like this is all like tons of information that could lead back to who is the source. And then when they find that, then they can find like what company, like what chemicals do they put out, like, and then the chemicals that are coming back positive and in the untreated and the treated water, look at the health risks of those, and then see if you have any, and if you do, then I would be raising more concerns and more questions, and I would encourage you to ask your doctor if there's a possibility that it could be tied to it. Do they know about it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, ask your doctor. Ask your doctor if they could do it. Like, if they could help you run a test. I mean, they have tests that they can show, like when people have birth defects, they run all the tests and it comes back as an environmental cause. So, like, they have tests that separate that.
Yeah. Yeah, the lab on Miguel test mom, but yeah, this is so crazy, man. For people
And this
again,
is all across the US.
yeah. This is not like just, hey, we're babbling about some shit in Delaware County or Madison County. This affects everybody from the farthest. I mean, I'm sure there's places in Canada that are affected and whatever, I mean, this is all over. They're dealing with this, and this is definitely a problem. And Tweety Bird, who continues to bring up lead, but it's because of what she's dealt with and where they're at and whatnot. It's very important. They need to be testing for lead. Lead is very important.
Right. So we tested for lead, and I'm even like, I want to go get myself, like if those come back high, then I'm gonna go get myself tested for lead, and then one of my children is actually due for a lead screening. So I will see, because the second one, we did live in Anderson for like a year and a half with her and cooked with the water and bathed her in it, and you know what I mean. So my first was when her initial one, it came back fine, but this one has, like, been in the water, and I don't know, I'm just interested to see if it comes back elevated, then I can go get myself checked, but who knows.
Yeah.
And I know other people in the town over here, some of their people have tested for lead and their lead levels came back elevated. So it's I know it's definitely probably an issue elsewhere. Wait.
13 sites, and yeah, I was gonna say. So Alva looked up in his place in Louisiana. I was gonna do that for you, Alva, but I'm glad you jumped on there and look.
Did you make sure you hit all sites?
Did you hit all sites? Did you make sure to hit
13
all
seems
sites?
low. 13 seems
I was going to
low.
say the same thing. 13 seems low. So you better, I'm just going to go back and check it on you just to make sure you did it right. We're going to go look and see just to double check here. All sites. Let's go look at his area here. Let's type it in since Alva's on here. One of our main people. I don't even know how to spell Louisiana.
See, like the county should be encouraging people to come to their little blue bus.
Oh yeah,
and get some blood testing done. Why can't we have some people who care a little bit? You know, like that would be really nice.
How do I? Is that? It doesn't give me a list for parish on here. It just says county. I guess I'll type in that weird ass county that you're in. L.A.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. Oh God. It's got far too many letters to type in. They're like, it don't matter about those people down there. They most of them can't even speak English.
I agree, Stumblefoot. I want to know where all that.
Yeah, he's right.
funding is
14.
going.
Damn. What? What's Stumblefoot saying?
He said something about Doge and seeing where all the environmental money is going, funding money is going.
What is Tweety Bird saying? What do we got? What do we got going on here, Tweety Bird?
What's that about?
What the hell are you doing?
What's that about?
She fat fingered. She meant to get
noisy.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna change the name of this episode.
That's so funny.
Episode 420. Get moist.
Listen, we're not far off. We are talking about water.
Yeah, right. Tweety Bird, you're a freak.
God.
God. Before we wrap any of this up here, I do want to go back because we skipped something here, and I think it's important that we play this because we talked about this. So I think I want to go back and have this lady talk about what's going on here. Maybe one of her symptoms is getting moist. We'll find out.
I ain't seen nothing. Oh no, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing. Matter of fact, I'm blind in my left eye. Oh no, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing. Matter of fact,
it's not funny, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I get what she's saying. Yeah, so over 70 million people being poisoned by the Superfund site they don't know they live in. The EPA, when we ask about it and why it's making us sick, MS, lupus, leukemia, MCAS, POTS, autoimmune, kidney disease. And see, it's crazy, it's weird, it's nuts because my dad died of kidney cancer, man. And so this is real weird, you know, like we've always talked because kidney cancer is one of those weird things. And what's scary about kidney cancer is you don't have pain receptors inside the kidney. So generally it's like one of the scary ones because it normally gets out of hand before anybody knows about it.
Right before you notice it.
Because it's not.
Or nothing.
Yeah, right. And
that's
so
scary.
It's you know a shitty thing. It's crazy.
So and one of those symptoms was POTS, and so like that stands for like something with and syncope at the end. Okay, and I know it has to do with like your heart, and I have I have a heart condition, and it's called neurocardiogenic syncope, and I'm like a fainting goat. So that's why I had to be the crazy chair lady. I'm like a fainting goat.
Okay, yes.
And that's why I had to be
out, you'll fall over.
Yeah. If you stress me out or
this is
I
the
get hot, then
this is the thing that I should have led with during the introduction. You would know her as the chair, the other chair lady. She's not the one that was yelling and carrying on like an idiot, but she's the other one who was sitting in the chair that was causing all of the chaos. During the election. So that's
so it can be like so my symptoms can be like triggered by like standing for a long time, or like standing up too fast, or stress, or like other things. And I just think that it's really weird that I didn't have any symptoms for that. I literally didn't find out until I was 21, 22. And I
Dang.
had lived in Madison County at that point since I was like 15. And at that point, I found out that I had the syncope, and I like would like my vision would like blur, and I had never actually passed out. But after living in Anderson, within the Superfund Site area, actually, the one that's on the national priorities list for almost 2 years, I had my first episode where I actually passed out, and I passed out with no warning, and I was holding my baby, and my
Oh
like
my
she was
God.
a toddler, so it didn't she was fine. But and
She
toddler was
bounced.
like, yeah, like my partner was right there, so it wasn't like a big deal. But I like fell flat on my face. Like my eyes were black, my nose was like, and I just had never had, and normally I have warning signs.
Yeah.
And I just thought that it's super weird that the pause is mentioned, because my syncope episodes have happened after I lived in the area, and I went 22 years of my life without knowing I had a heart condition. You know what I mean? I don't know if I had it before or if it just showed up now. You know what I mean? But they didn't tell
Yeah.
me how long it's been there. They just said I have it. So, and
Yeah.
that when with pregnancy, like your blood flow changes, so you can discover things that are
Well,
wrong with your heart. So
sure.
that's when I started to have symptoms with my first pregnancy, and then after my second was 2 years after living in Anderson, and I had my pass out episode, which was
Well,
crazy.
and she didn't know, like when she was talking about, having that POTS and being like the fainting goat. She didn't know that we actually someone had caught video of her in the stage, and this is really touching. But I want to play this so everyone can know how serious this is.
You're so funny. I'm a fainting goat, dude. I call
not
it fainting,
the
I call it fainting goat syndrome.
Yeah, I know. I was just being stupid.
Ain't that
But
funny?
no, this is very serious. And so, I mean, trying to bring some levity to it, but this is a very serious thing. And, the other day, it's been a couple days, maybe a week, Bree messaged, and she's like, hey, I'd like to come on and talk about this. And I was like, dude, I don't know what she's talking about. I was like, I didn't know. And so, like,
I have been bothering you.
yeah, no, yeah. And so I was like, this is crazy stuff, and it's really scary. And I'll be honest, I mean, I was glad to have you come on, because I've learned a lot about this and did not know. Now, it's something. My grandfather worked for GM, and one of the things that he did for a job for quite some time was he was a dump truck driver for them. And what that would entail, and he's a 25-year-old man trying to make ends meet for a family working for a company, and they're like, okay, go take this dump truck and dump this shit someplace. He's like, okay, and there's like all places all over Delaware County where GM like had the authority to dump, and he would go dump this stuff places, and God knows what it was, and all of this crazy crap. And, years later, as he's been retired for 30 years now, he's like, yeah, I dumped stuff there, and I dumped stuff there, and I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy. That's
right.
nuts.
And and someone told me Killbuck Wetlands was like pretty much made to dump in, which is crazy, because that's where like the Shady Side trails lead to, and like that should be fenced off so people cannot continue to contaminate it. And it's also, that's the one that's on the national priorities list, meaning it's the most toxic, one of the most toxic sites in the US, and it's not blocked off.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just,
it's really,
I've
really,
been over there. I've been in those trails. I've walked my kids in those trails. We had at one point there was a stroller mom walk group that walked there. They don't go there anymore, but like
well,
we had
yeah.
our kids over there. You know what I mean? Like, what if we would have go to the Aqua Gardens and you can go and kayak over there. And, what if you tube down White River? I know some people said that's why people don't go kayaking down White River anywhere. Well, when I've moved to Anderson, that was what you did as like in the summertime. Like
Sure. No,
everyone
yeah.
went kayaking and like, that's not, people don't just stop doing it.
Yeah.
Yes, people fish there. People fish at if you're talking about the Killbuck place, yes, they fish over there.
Yeah.
And in that one video with the guy with the headband around his head, and he said they'll have signs or they'll have normally like a fact sheet under your list for your Superfund site about like what's safe to do over there and what's not. Like talking about like what kind of fish are safe to eat. Like they should have like a sign up there, like saying like don't eat the fish from this river. Like
No shit. Yeah.
I've been over there and I have never seen any kind of signs. I've literally walked over there. I mean, I can kayak in the river and that's not keeping people out from contaminating it. If it's one of the most toxic sites in the US, that's crazy. It should be blocked off.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
People
no
shouldn't be able to
question.
fish there.
Yeah, yeah. And so I know that this is a little hard for people to see just because of how it is.
Because it came in Messenger too, probably. So
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let me see if I can fix this. Give me a second here, and I will fix it. Because this is pretty big, and we can get this posted up. I'm sure she already has. Nicole made this map, and which is really cool. It's really good. I'm glad she did. Let me put this in the overlays here.
yeah, Guide Lamp has been mentioned, Catherine, and then I know that Prairie Farms was mentioned, and I heard someone say that they supposedly stopped dumping when they were caught doing it. So
Well, that's nice. Okay, this is a little bit better. Yeah, Borg Warner on Kilgore has over 500 or more 50-gallon barrels of chemicals buried in the back of that property. I watched them do it from my auntie's house when I was a child. That's really crazy stuff. Really, 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 really crazy.
Nicole, if you are still watching, what's the Superfund site that was underneath the one at Grand and Broadway that we were talking about? It's a battery factory. Prime Battery Factory is another Superfund site in Anderson, and that's another one that people were talking about, like Guide Lamp and Prime Battery and all those things.
Now, I don't know what kind of map maker she is who shows Anderson and Florida on top of Anderson, but
that's how
I know it's
Apple Maps does it. So
yeah, right.
She might have been using Apple Maps.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I know. But this is, I'm really glad that she
and this is just for Anderson.
Yeah, this is just
so this is not for the whole Madison County, but she will make a Madison County one.
It is, Catherine. That's what I was, so this is, it's clearly not the state of Florida. But yeah, this is, go get it. Let's go.
Go shovel it up.
I don't think the people there, it's Florida Station. I was being an idiot. It would be interesting to look up in that area, in Ellick and
Alexandria,
and Summitville and all that. But this is really good, Nicole. If Nicole's still here, this is awesome.
She's a superstar map maker. She's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, let me ask you this: is there any reason or difference because of the size of the star? Like, is the bigger the star, the bigger the area, or the red stars? Can you tell us what the difference is between the red stars and the yellow stars?
You'll have to ask Nicole. Will have to answer it. I don't know.
Okay, all right. I just thought maybe she got tired of using all.
We'll see if she replies. I don't know. I didn't ask her. I didn't look. I just knew she put the map in there. I was trying to get ready before.
Right. No. Hey, no.
I was like, she was like, I made a map. I sent it. I was like, great.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing thing. And I imagine you guys will put this up. For those that are interested, it'll be on social media. Red dots were hotspots. That's makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. So that's that. The other thing is, and I mean, obviously we've talked about this, but the other thing though is, the two larger ones are Delco, Amcor, and Scatterfield. Okay,
Okay,
good,
so
good.
Delco was listed as one.
So yeah, yeah, Nestle needs to be held accountable for their water dumping.
Yep, and
Yeah.
Nestle raises huge concerns for me for over there. I mean, like, what if they're a source of contamination?
Yeah, right. There's definitely
Or yeah,
yeah. There are some definite concerns with what's going on there. The top red dot is the area she's talking about, Shady Side. Yeah. I'm not too familiar with, I mean, I know where I'm at in Anderson. I can get around Anderson well, but I don't know the little places like that well.
It's like Prairie Farms or Frisch's Big Boys. It was the intersection that it lists the contamination at that intersection, but the plumes are they're not all sitting right there at that intersection. They're spread out. And it affects multiple drinking wells, which I have a post with maps and the delineated radius of how far out it affects you. But keep in mind that some of these have not gone past, like, they haven't gone past like a quarter mile out or like a half mile out to see how contaminated it is at 4 miles out. But they just know that it goes out that far from their 1/2 a mile sample because of how high it came back.
Yeah.
So it could reach further than the 4 mile radius that is showing around each well that supplies water.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's the thing, right? So like it's showing you, like, they're drawing and saying, like, that's obviously, being what delineated is, they're drawing them saying, okay, this is the area, but it's definitely, I mean, it would be stupid to think that it's not reaching further outside of that, and that it's messing with people.
And you should test that far out to see, are the levels still that high 4 miles out? Because then we need to go further and test. You know what I mean? Then we need to see how many people this affects. You know what I mean? How far does it affect our soil? And I mean, and then you have to, like, also think about, like, if it's in the air and the soil, if it's getting put back into those things, that I don't know about how much locally grown food is grown in Madison County, but that affects your food too. Like, whatever food is grown in the area, it affects the food, like, because it's in your soil, it's in your air, it's coming down on it from the rain, it's not good.
Yeah. And Stephanie said something very, very important here, and we'll get back to what Trevor said. Look up the Nestle. Sorry about that. Look up the Nestle in other states. They are known for dumping and destroying water for water supplies for the areas they set up business in, and that is, and like, look, and it was good having. I mean, it's good having them to have the jobs and whatnot, but you've got to look at what your trade-off is. Are you killing your people?
There's other options. There's other options than companies that steal our water or that are tied to ISIS to bring in over here. Like, and we gotta stand up and say something about that. You know what I mean? So, like, and we gotta stop them from bringing in any more companies like that, because the same person that brought in, I don't know about Nestle, but I do know that he tried to bring in Malarkey is still there. So, I mean, it's concerning that they didn't even do their research on that before they tried to bring it here. And they were a big polluter too in one of the other states that they manufactured in. So that would have been a concerning pollution source. You know what I mean? Contributing to what was here. And, like, why weren't, like, our health officials stepping in saying, like, hey, this is going to affect all the Superfund sites.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a contributing contamination. We can't have this company here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not good for the public health. Like, it's we can't do it. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah. Before we wrap up here, I want to play this video because you've been reaching out to lots of different people and doing different things, and there's one person that we can't mention, but if things go right, I mean, this, has a potential to be big, and she's done a lot of great work with here. But one of the things that she's done is she actually reached out with the lady that we watched that kicked this whole thing off, the Katie Justice.
Oh, are you gonna do the one about Anderson?
What?
Yeah, the one about Anderson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she did this video. The woman did this video, and so I think that this is worth watching. Is this it? This is it, right?
Yes, yeah, that's it. That's my comment on there, asking her.
Yeah,
if she'll do
Anderson,
one.
Indiana. Yeah, since 19.
Yep, and I had messaged her a bunch of stuff, and she looked into it a little bit and did that video for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Anderson, Indiana, since 1988. Please do a video on this one. Going my community to get involved.
People from Anderson, Indiana are drinking water from a contaminated well, and the source of the poison hasn't been identified yet. Toxic chemicals were found in the city's groundwater in 1992. To make the water drinkable, they use a machine called an air stripper. It basically pushes air through the water to force the chemicals out as gas. In 2018, it became an official Superfund site. As of 2025, no cleanup has started. There are 3 plumes of toxins in the groundwater, and they have no idea why or where it's coming from. The contaminated water is still being treated and sent to homes. Do you live in a Superfund site?
Now, I want to add.
That's awesome.
People from
Go
Anderson,
ahead.
Indiana are drinking water from a contaminated well.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to add that she said that it's being treated and still being treated and sent to homes. So when looking into it, yes, it's being treated, but when it was being treated in 2004 through 2010, there were testing results showing that after treatment, there were still VOCs and other contaminants in the water after it came out and was going to homes. So I haven't found testing for recent years. I'm not saying they don't exist, but they're not, I haven't seen them to the public eye. Like for
Sure.
what the results are from 2010 to 2025. So I don't, and whether that's saying that they're good or whether that's saying that they're still contaminated, I haven't seen either source of a documentation for that. So I am concerned that it's still possibly contaminating it, because when they installed the air scrubbers, that was in 1999, and in 2004 was when it was popping up in the finished water. So that's 5 years after installation, the air scrubbers were failing to do their job.
That's crazy.
So
That's really
37
really
or
crazy.
21 years later, I would think, wait, 1999. Yep, 24 years later, I would think that they're probably, since Neil McKee, the director of Anderson Water Utility, said that they've ignored the infrastructure at the Wheeler plant for over 40 years. So if I want to go back to and blame somebody, I have to go back 40 years. That's what he told me. There's a clip of it on Nicole's YouTube. He told me I have to go back 40 years if I want to find blame. So that means.
Are you saying 40? Are you saying 40?
40.
Okay, yeah.
They've ignored the issues at the infrastructure for 40 years. And so now they were doing the water increase rates. So not only do we have VOCs and other chemicals from our Superfund sites here in Madison County, but in Anderson with your national priority list Superfund site, you also have to be concerned about the PFAS in your water. And that was mentioned last year in a meeting with Neil McKee, and he said that the PFAS levels have been above action level for 2 years. So you have more than just VOCs. You have PFAS, you have the stuff that comes in the making of the VOCs. So it's a lot that you should be questioning about.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. It's it's really crazy. This is nuts. Like Alva said, I'm telling you, my dad was not.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah, it really is.
There's so much information.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is. It's scary. It's a lot of information. It's like it's hard to wrap your mind around. It's my dad was not a conspiracy theorist in the least bit. Like, was just a very rational human being, and he frequently would say, like, look, the way you got, they gonna have to take care of Social Security one way or another. What a better way to do it than kill off a bunch of baby boomers, and
Right.
all of a sudden everybody gets cancer and dies. You're taking care of some problems.
Yep.
And like I was said, you got to be able to control the population somehow. And
Right.
what a better way to do it than this? This is just absolutely crazy. When I want to put up here really quickly again, your the page. Let me ask you this: is your page open like publicly, or do
Yeah.
you have it locked
Yes.
down, or
Yeah,
what?
you can share. I have
I was gonna say
like
you need
I
to
have my
create.
private stuff. I have
Yeah.
my private stuff locked down that I have posted in the past, but I don't
Okay.
post anything personal anymore because of how I've started
Yep. That's
posting so much about the water and
yeah.
the
That's what
stuff.
I was gonna
So
say. You need to create like another account,
yeah.
like a
Well,
whatever,
this one
or
just reached to like 600 or 500 followers or 600
yeah.
followers.
So
So I don't want to
you're
restart,
screwed.
but
Yeah. So then
yeah,
you
but
just need to.
I'm just gonna make a new personal one if I
Yeah,
decide.
that's what you
I
could
don't
do.
really want a personal. I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
want
right. It's like
pictures of my
what?
kids out there anyway. So
Yeah,
I'm
your
okay.
people know your that's
Yeah.
I get you. But yeah,
Right.
so that's what I was going to recommend, because you're doing a lot of good work, and I absolutely love it, and I think it's great. So, if you want to follow her, I mean, if people
Yep.
want to follow you, they can look you up on Facebook.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, it's Brianna Davis. It's all real common spelling stuff.
Brianna.
NANAS.
DAVIS.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
okay.
I'm crazy. No.
Yeah, right. So here is
It's something in my water, Chris. I can't help it.
right. That's the issue. That's hilarious. So here's the I want to put this up on the screen here so people can see this again, just to be sure. This is bam, it's here. This is the Hazardous Superfund Site, Anderson, Indiana. Screenshot this if you want it, because you can get the QR code off of it, or you can just go to her page. Community announcement. On April 23rd, 2025, there will be a town hall community meeting held in Anderson Public Library. The EPA has been invited and will be making an appearance to participate in a Q&A session for you to be heard and get answers. It's the Anderson Public Library, Delaware Room 111 East 12th Street in Anderson, Indiana. 46051. April 23rd, 2025, from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. I would highly recommend reaching out and asking all of the elected officials at the local and state level to be there, city, county, and state to be there, and
I don't
see
think that's
who
the right
shows
zip
up.
code. I think I messed the zip code up.
Oh, that's all right. It's in Anderson. If you can't find
It's Anderson, Indiana. Don't go
it's
anywhere
Anderson,
else.
idiot. Yeah. Don't worry about that.
So,
Follow them on TikTok. You can are you on TikTok? Or do you do anything on TikTok? Look up Katie on TikTok.
yeah, I'm on TikTok, but I don't really post that. Like, hey, Kate
Okay.
Justice posts on TikTok.
Yeah, Kate
I'll share
Justice.
videos, but I
And
don't
it's
really.
it's KAIT.
AIT
Yeah.
Justice, like fighting for justice.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool last name.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
no,
someone-
I think her last name is something else. That's like her TikTok name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nom de plume. So,
Yep.
Heidi Snyder put it on there 46016. So it's close enough.
That's
Whatever.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Shared it everywhere on Facebook, and the zip code's wrong.
That's
all
okay.
right. That's all right.
Yeah. So that's good. Kate's put up the
I'll go fix it. Don't worry.
I do the same thing. Kate's put up the Kate Justice on TikTok thing there. Is there anything else you want to say? Any last words you want to say before we roll?
Just please come to the meeting on April 23rd. That's about all if you think you're affected or if you have questions, I just encourage you all to maybe learn about the Superfund site or just go do some research on your own to learn about the history of it and how it might affect you. So
listen, I'll be honest, I didn't know how this was going to go. I mean, obviously, I've always enjoyed talking to you, but I didn't know how this episode would be. But I'm really glad that we did it, and I think that this was a good episode. And
Me too.
someone said like this. Definitely hit the like to help push this out. Listen, I want to make sure people are aware. I watched somebody the other day. The more engagement that there is on videos, it helps get it in front of more eyes, and gets it into different areas. And so that's the reason that shit's important.
I'll share this. I'll share this everywhere after we're done.
Share it, hit it, like, do all that stuff. I would appreciate all the rest of you to put in some work, son, and help us get out there.
It's so easy. It's literally in our fingertips. Just one button away.
Really
Share, like.
Don't drink. Oh shit, she fell down.
Yeah,
I thought she was experiencing one of those goat moments.
Yeah, probably. Like, yell for her husband. Yell.
That's hilarious. Madison County really needs to thank a bunch of you women, and it's not just Bree. Nicole's,
it's a bunch of amazing women and people from the community stepping in to like help with events and getting the library booked and all kinds of stuff. It's not just me. It's a large group of people. People are concerned. They're helping, and we want more people to be involved.
I've always said, somebody long ago on my live was like, man, I noticed that like your viewers are like all women. And I'm like, don't mean shit. It just because women tend to be the ones that are very vocal, specifically on the local and the state level, because
it's what directly affects us and our children and our families and
it's
our futures.
Your kids, and like the husbands are off like cutting the grass or doing something. They're like, I don't care about that dumb shit. But the women are going,
he's got no idea what's going on.
have time going to meetings and doing things like that. And so it really is the women that do a lot, and I'm very happy for the ones that do that. And you guys are a kick-ass bunch over there, and so I appreciate all the time you put into it. Yeah. So thank you very much. We will definitely keep in touch with this. Would love to have you back on. We will live stream the event on the 23rd. And then, as you learn more and there's more involved here, would love to have you back on. And as I said on your very, very, very first time on, I think it's kick-ass that you're involved. And look how far you've come since the first time you were on.
Right. I know. I was like, I was calling you out. I don't know what to talk about. I'm just a mom in Madison County. I'm like,
Right.
So now I'm like, hey, can I do an episode?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, she was so scared the first time. And then I was like, I thought when you first hit me up, you were like, wanted me to do it. And I was like, right, but she was like, no, I want to do it. I was like, all right, hell yeah. Come on, that's rock and roll. I love it. So I think it's great. We'll stay in contact, obviously, and keep us posted, and we'll have you back on to talk about whatever else comes your way. Keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you. I appreciate the time that you let me have on here. So.
Absolutely. Stay put. Don't go anywhere real quick, and I'll be right back with you.
Okay.
I'll put you down below here for a second.
All right. That's good. I'm watching. So.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Please share this everywhere. I mean, this is more than a Madison County or Delaware County problem. We didn't look in Henry County, and I didn't even bring up in Henry County several years back. They had a very, very large outbreak of people who had, I think it's glioblastoma, which is a very serious, very deadly form of brain cancer. And it killed like lots of people. A lot of children were involved, and then just people that were otherwise healthy all of a sudden. And they've done a bunch of research down there. I didn't even mention them. I guess I am now. So, Henry County, I'm sure, has issues. They had Chrysler and a bunch of, it's all these Midwest communities that had all these factories that we've had since the beginning of time that we don't have anymore, but we're still paying the price for for having those factories for all that time. So this is very serious. Look into this. I want to thank Brianna. I want to thank Nicole. I want to thank Catherine and all those over there helping. Obviously, I want to thank producer Kate for being involved and helping us out. And thank you guys for watching. Please have a rest of your wonderful evening. I think the severe weather is past us. And they told us like we were going to have real crazy weather all day. And I'm telling you what, man, weather people could be politicians. Like, I have never figured it out. They have been more wrong in the last like 10 years than they've ever been any of the rest of the time in my life. I just don't understand it. So thank God that's over. Thank God they were wrong, I guess. You guys take care. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful start back to your work week. We have a busy week planned. I've got some important big shows coming up, some important stuff about ed, some important stuff about just politics, and maybe some stuff about yesterday still. So there's some stuff I'm still looking into about yesterday. So stay on the lookout for all of that. We've got a busy week. We will be here, God willing, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from at 9 p.m. And we will do that. So you guys take care, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Hit the like on your way out. Good. Oh, man, I hate to hear that, Cindy. I did not know that. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely tough. So I knew that your son had passed, but I didn't know that was what was from. So that's horrible. So, all right, you guys take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Goodbye.